Right, so it says that we are live. Hi, everybody. My name is Bonita. I am the mentor for the GCC, Africa, and the US. That includes Canada and South America. So, with me today, I have Sarah Mukonyezi from Beamish Events and Styling. Sarah has been exactly where you've been now. And I'm really excited to talk to her because, Sarah, you're actually from Kampala in Uganda.
Yes, I am.
It's so awesome. I mean, I just love the variety and the cross-cultural mix that we've got at the Academy. And, from a place that's quite unexpected because, in Africa, you don't think of Uganda as having, premier wedding planners, but actually, in the rest of the world, people, African weddings are so big, they're so different. Um, and hi, Alex Nakato is saying hello. Alex, great to have you here. He's also Ugandan. I don't know if you can see the comments, Sarah.
No, I can't.
You can't? Oh
They
my
don't.
God.
No, they don't.
I'll show this. Let me see. Oh, I've got to show it. Yay, Alex.
Yeah, I can see. I
No,
can see the comments now.
yeah, exactly. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of practice, but Sarah and I've just been talking about how different, before we started the live broadcast, how different it is, planning an African wedding. I mean, we've got so many more cultural things. I don't know, for lack of a better word, we've got so many different cultural practices. And the fact that potentially, when people say to you, oh, I'm a wedding planner, they think, oh, why should I have a wedding? Why should I have a wedding planner? And, you come up with quite a lot of resistance.
Yeah.
Don't you? Do people understand what it is you do?
Some do, but not everybody understands that they need a wedding planner.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
most people here prefer to do it by themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yes, and I mean, I think we need to explain to people that are watching from, outside of Africa, just how crazy and busy African weddings and also Indian weddings, and anything from Africa GCC, the numbers are staggering. What is the typical number of weddings in Uganda, in Kampala, in the city that happen? The numbers.
The weddings are huge, like really, really huge. The minimum number could be 100, but
Yeah.
those are the few people. But most people have a guest list of like 200, 300. They even go up to 1,000, depending on what the bride and groom want. But our
Exactly.
weddings are completely different from the Western weddings because of the numbers. The numbers are really big.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, we've also got different practices, particularly in Africa. There's more than, like, as in with Arab, ceremonies from the GCC and across India, the Southeast Asia. We've got, something that we call the bride giveaway, or lobola, or bride price. That is one traditional ceremony. And then you've got
Yeah.
your white weddings, yeah?
Yeah. Now, with our weddings, like they start with a very small function, an intimate function that is done at the bride's home. That is like kind of introducing your spouse to your parents.
Yeah.
So that one you could have like a guest list of around 50.
It's still quite big.
Yeah. After that, they give you a date when you have to introduce your spouse to the rest of the people.
Yes.
Which is like an engagement party in the Western world. So that function here, it is called an introduction ceremony, where you
Yes.
introduce your spouse to the rest of the community. So the guest list here still is so big. You could have guests that are like 300 plus.
Yes.
because you're
Yeah.
practically inviting the whole village. Then the husband's side also has to bring in their people.
Yeah.
Then after that comes the Western wedding, the church wedding, which
Yes.
is also big.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So
again, you got to keep the community.
yeah, our functions are a bit different from yours, from the
Yeah.
Western world functions.
Yeah. 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 Let's put it that way. I mean, I'm also from Africa, well, South Africa, more traditional Western wedding. But I mean, if I, if there's a lot of cross cultural weddings where I come from, where it could be, you somebody more Western marrying into somebody that's with more traditional African traditions or Indian traditions. I mean, we've got it all. We come from a different. we're quite unique in terms of that. So
Yeah.
there's a lot more to plan for. Now, Sarah, before you became, I mean, it's just interesting, and I can talk to you for ages about looking at weddings and how different it is in Africa. It's a bit more similar to Indian weddings almost, the traditions.
Yeah.
But in terms of something, being you're quite a creative person. Where
Yes,
were
I
you
am.
before you where were you before you started? What were you doing before you launched your business?
I'm a professional graphics designer, so I'm still running that company though. Like I'm moving towards the events part of things. Uh, I started graphics design like 10 years back, and I started a company which I run. In fact, I have some people I hire.
Amazing.
Uh, so in the while I was doing graphics design, I realized I could make wedding cards,
Hmm.
like handmade wedding cards, just because I'm a creative person. Like I needed something more.
Yes.
So just creating wedding, I do other things apart from wedding cards,
Yeah.
like print. I have a printing press, something like
Amazing.
that. But I wanted more of the creative bit. So
Yes.
that is how I ended up in the academy.
Yeah, I know. And you were one of the first people in the Launchpad program last year. I mean, I remember speaking to you and I just thought, what a Wonder Woman. And I still think you are because you've got so much experience in business, you're so creative, and you just remain calm throughout you know, running multiple business.
Yeah.
Which I think is really admirable. And for somebody like yourself, already running one separate business, getting into something totally new, how did you find, being with the academy? I mean, we enrolled you into the launch pad, and there was 8 weeks of live training. How did that kind of make you feel, and being so different from the rest of everybody from this
It
different
was
background?
great. Like I had always wanted to get training
Yes.
in event styling, but there has, like, in my country, Uganda, there is no school that does that. Like if you want to learn about events, maybe you just have to learn at work. Like you get someone who is already an events planner, and then you work with them, then you gain the knowledge.
Yes.
But I needed to do it at a professional level.
Yes.
Like I needed something that would show that I had done event, like at least I had some training in
Yes.
event planning. So one time I was on Facebook as usual, then I landed on the ad.
Yes.
I think by then they were advertising the boot camp,
Yes.
and joining was free. So I joined.
Yeah.
When I joined, the information that Kylie was giving really made me attracted to join.
Mm.
Like I was like, I think I this is the right place. This is what I've been looking for. So I joined. there's a lot of information that was given. So in my head, I asked myself if they could give all this information just now,
Yeah.
what could be the package behind, like when you become a student?
Yes.
To be honest, I was scared because it was my first it was my first online course. I'd never taken an online course. So I was like, I'm willing to risk,
Mm,
because like I couldn't keep saying I'll get training, yet I wasn't getting any training.
yes.
So when opening came to join the launchpad, I took the risk and joined, and I must say the risk was worth it. Uh,
Yay!
the first 8 weeks of training were awesome. I really got a lot of information. Like every time I would attend, like the live training, I would come out with something new, and I realized this is exactly what I needed.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember, I mean, you were so busy. I remember calling you. I think you set up an appointment with me and we missed it. You were talking to me, and then all of a sudden we got cut off. There was a few times that we had, and I was like, this woman is incredibly busy. But I didn't know at the time that you were also still running another business and you've got a young family as well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mother of one.
Mother of one and one and a half, maybe. Yeah. Now you're
Expecting the second one.
exactly, exactly. So,
Yeah.
I honestly, I thought, oh my gosh, it was so difficult to get in touch with you. And, this is something you genuinely wanted. And, I just thought to myself, how is this woman going to do it? But, you showed up on time, you showed up live, you made the time for it, and you invested of yourself, which, when you're already running one business and you've got a young family and you do everything in your business, what a
Yes.
powerhouse. How did you find? I mean, obviously, the flexibility of it being online, obviously helped you a lot.
Yeah. My kind of job, I'm always online, like 24/7.
Yeah,
Unless like I'm doing some designing, or maybe doing some meeting clients, or doing some deliveries. But I'm always online. Even when I go to meet a client, my phone is always in my hands.
yeah,
So anything, once I joined the academy, anything that was put up would pop up, and I would get some time to see like what is it they've put, because the information was really good. I wanted, like, I didn't want to miss any. So I would make sure I keep checking my notifications, and if I see anything from the Wedding Launchpad group, I would take some time, some minutes, and have a look at it.
yeah. So it's really something that fits around your life, but also, it's taken you. You haven't maybe. I mean, you launched before you literally finished kind of the course, so it is possible, right? When you do the launch pad to kind of launch after you get an idea of what it is your ideal client is. These exercises we put everybody through the boot camp again now. We did exactly the same exercises, ideal client, vision board, all of this. And I
Yeah.
remember your vision boards were amazing because obviously graphics, but you managed to launch your business before you even got certified, and you've done amazing. I mean, you're still kind of, I would say, not in launch mode, but you've done some events, and they look
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, I'm going to put up your Facebook page. It's called Beamish Events, and it's just it's there. You're engaging people in asking questions and really drawing people in to and I can see that somebody like me, I can see that where you're coming from, and putting your coursework to work really. Let me just copy this and Beamish Events. Now I don't know why this is not doing this. I'm going to try just clicking onto your link again. So tell me, how has it been? I mean, you've launched, when did you launch Beamish Events?
I think it was like after the 8 weeks of the
Yeah.
live training. I remember Kylie told us that we should set goals.
Yes.
So
Yes.
like I set my goal after the 8 weeks as launching my business.
Hmm.
Um, which I did. Like I did not, it wasn't fully registered until the beginning of this year.
Mm.
But like I opened up the Facebook page,
Yes.
and I did some few events. Some of the photos you see on the page. Um, yeah, that's it. And after the 8 weeks, like while still in the process of finishing up, I decided to register because
Yes.
finding my company name was really a hassle.
Yes.
So I didn't want to take the risk of waiting to register it and then
Yes.
find it again.
Yes. 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 It's so important to, when you start, looking at your business name and looking at your business, if you've got the idea of a name, it's important. The first thing you do is check if the domain is available. Check if all the social handles, everything from Twitter to Pinterest to um,
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, is all available, and claim those spaces the minute you'd register the domain, because it's so competitive. But you've got such a unique style, and I really want people to go and have a look at the kind of styling that you do, because I'm really excited about that. It's African. It's African but elevated. It's not. It's very classy, very elegant, and extremely stylish. African. We've got very bright colors that we tend to use. Into this is the taste for
Yeah.
African weddings. Mostly, it's quite loud colors. I would say it's a lot of fuchsia, a lot of and fuchsia with green. Really
Yeah.
crazy. And purple, and it's so we've got that. We definitely have that liking. I mean, in South Africa we call it shweshwe fabric. I'm not sure it's the same kitenga. What's it, kanga, like, I don't know, what is the fabric called in Uganda?
In Uganda, it's called chitenji.
Yes.
Chitenji.
Yes, and in
Yeah.
Kenya it's something different. In Nigeria, it's kanga, or in Rwanda it's called something different. Every time I've had friends who travel, I've always asked them to bring me some of this fabric because it's so vibrant. Um,
Beautiful fabrics.
yeah, exactly. But nothing that is anything you'd find in the traditional setting in a Western wedding. You just wouldn't see this kind of thing. But you've managed to take it and pare it down quite elegantly. So, can you explain to me a little bit about your style and how you kind of arrived at that? How did you decide that this was kind of your signature style? Because I see you've done beautiful, detailed florals as well. You do the flowers yourself?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
told you.
do that.
This is a
Now,
wonderful.
now you see, Africa is really rich with color, texture, a lot of cultural items.
Yes.
Now, when you look at the events planning industry in
Mhm.
Kampala specifically, like
Yes.
most people are look at the western bit of it, like that luxurious events.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be different because like I looked around at the prominent event planners and stylists, and no one was doing like strictly African.
Yeah.
So what I decided to do, I was like, if I start my business, I will strictly do modern African styling,
Yes.
where I incorporate the African beat and then
Yes.
swag it around with the modern beat of it. It
Yes.
really creates a very beautiful design, very beautiful decor. Like
Yes.
you could get different items different cultural items, because we really have very rich cultures, and like very rich cultural items. So I decided I would incorporate those cultural items, the cultural colors, with the modern bit of it, and it works for me. It's really
It
nice.
works beautifully. I don't know if anybody of you gone onto Sarah's Beamish Events page yet. Give her a like. Not Instagram yet. I can't wait to see, your style shoot. You talk to me about, I mean, I know you've done this event company, you've registered, you've done some events, you've not even finished your certification, but that's the thing, you've got lifetime access and you can dip in and out. And I seen you even recently in our student group, just popping in and out. There were some comments you made in our student only Facebook group. And you've gone out there and done it, which I just, it's amazing. You're just a Wonder Woman. I had so much admiration and respect for you.
Thank you.
Honestly, seriously, I do mean that. But you decided to, you've gone out there and you're going to plan some style shoots ahead.
Yeah, I need content for my Instagram, and I cannot do that without pick images. So the images I have right now, most of them are really not that professional. So I'm planning a styled shoot for December.
Lovely.
It was meant to be there in March, but then the lockdown happened.
Yes. Yes.
So I postponed it to December because most of the vendors, like the premises where they work from, were still closed. So like we could not get staff. It was really hard to procure things to use.
Yeah.
But now they're open, they're working. Hopefully there will be no other lockdown, and then in December I would be able to pull out a styled shoot. Then I can open my Instagram page with professional pictures.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And even the images that you've got right now, I mean, I wouldn't say that they were unprofessional, but they're just taking that when you're working on a styled shoot, it's so different because the photographer can really zoom into those,
Yeah.
little details that you don't pick up with your mobile camera. It works for the moment, but it's what is that saying that Kylie says? Just do it. Don't wait.
True, true.
Just go ahead and do it. I mean, even Martha, our brand manager, she took forever. She launched her business with only her Instagram. And she works in London. She didn't have a website. She didn't have a logo. She had a logo, but she only had Instagram. And the same with you. You've got your socials. And how do people find you? I mean, can you describe a little bit of your ideal client to us? How do people normally find you? I mean, you've obviously with your printing business, they know you do wedding cards, but are they surprised that you've got events as well?
Yeah, people are surprised, but not the people that know me because they know the creative side of me. And like most of the clients I've got so far are from referrals.
Yes.
I did a Facebook ad one time.
Yes.
And it got me some few people that I've not met. They've not yet given me business, but then I have some that are promising.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that. I think I got most clients when I did the Facebook ad.
Yes. Yes.
Like, cause I was able to reach people who are not even my friends.
Yes.
Yeah, so like that's how I got more likes on the page. People got to know what I do. So people would call me and ask me about prices. Though the challenge in that, I even got very many people who are jokers. They were not serious about business.
Exactly. And I think culturally people are like, oh, I want this. It's quite a challenge. Because a lot of families feel, oh, I can take this tablecloths And I can,
Mhm.
why are you charging? It's that cultural thing. They want to save some cost because obviously, if you're putting together an event for 200 people, 300 people, 300 people is 30 tables, 30 round tables of 10. That needs 30
Yeah.
tablecloths. And
Yeah.
we've got a lot of, we're in Africa. We're blessed to have a lot of tradesmen, and they're like, oh, but I can go and get this made. Don't you find?
Yeah, there's the people there. Like people believe they can make things by themselves until they try and then they fail, then they come back to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've had an Indian family. One of the planners that I was talking to in the Middle East, in Dubai. She was dealing with. She was she was mixed culturally mixed, but she's never been exposed. I mean, the family literally went and made 50 tablecloths, and then they were stuck with the tablecloths afterwards. And they tried to sell it to her later. I mean, this kind of thing you'll never find in the West. Normally, in the West scenario, but in our in with culturally, this is the kind of things that you're up against, working in Africa, in India. It's quite common where they think they can do it themselves, but I
Mm.
think the taste level of, especially as people have more traveled, Nigeria, for example. Nigerians love getting married in Dubai. The more affluent Nigerians. And I've been to a few Nigerian weddings. It's amazing. And there's some planners in the Middle East that do really well. But then also, Nigeria, Uganda, Kenya, they're that little triangle. There's a lot of movement between.
Yeah.
So, people in Nigeria get married in Kenya. So are you looking to, I mean, your events, how are you looking to expand your business going forward? Besides doing regular style shoots and getting everything up and running, what is the next steps for you?
Um, for starters, I still want to build my market here in Kampala.
Yeah.
Uh, Maybe like once I've grown, like become real big, I could do destination weddings because right now I'm not yet conversant with the weddings in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
So once I've made it here, like maybe got my target, because I have a target.
Yes.
Like I have at least by 2025 I need to be somewhere. So once I've got to that target, I can look into destination weddings, planning destination weddings like in different other countries.
Yes. Yes. It's so
Yeah.
important. And you need to have goals in your business. And I mean, you've been running a business, you've been running a creative business, but, obviously, I think we've drilled that into you on how to price your services as well. How did that kind of, I mean, you've come from a creative background, so you understand the concept of paying yourself for the time that you put in. Because I
Yeah.
think a lot of planners, especially starting out, people who are just starting out, who haven't had training, kind of they forget to pay themselves.
Yeah. I, I was facing that problem in my printing business, in my graphics design business. I would work without paying myself.
Yeah.
So when I attended the training in the wedding academy, I learned that I am actually supposed to pay myself. So now what I do in my pricing, I have I include payment for myself. And that is the first money that I get off. Even if it's a deposit, it's always the first money I get off. So I get motivated to work since I've already paid myself.
Yeah. And I think,
Yeah.
we are such as creative people as, you always want it to be perfection, and you
Yeah.
will always go the extra mile. But it's important because if you're not paying yourself, especially as a new business owner, we're all so eager to please, especially coming from the creative side, you'll fix things 5 times. If it's not
Yeah.
absolutely perfect, but you forget the time. So a lot of people say, I was speaking to somebody that was new. Thank heaven she's enrolled, but she was like, I've not made any money. In fact, I have lost some money. And I was like, girl, you can't be doing that.
Yeah.
And you know, your packages are totally quite different as well. It's an interesting challenge, you know, because you're working in a market that is quite price sensitive, I would say.
Yeah.
Uh, but
It's a bit different here. Like you can set price packages, and then you'll get someone who is offering you more
yeah,
than what you have set. Because someone will come to you and tell you, let's say, I have around, let's say, I'm giving an example, like I have $1,500
yes,
and I want you to see what you can do in that.
mm,
Then you find your package is less than $1,500. So in most cases, you go with the client as they come.
yes,
But of
uh,
course you set a limit, like you say I will not go below this figure
yes,
in
yes,
my pricing. So
yes.
if you get a client who goes below the figure that you set, then that one you don't take them on.
Exactly. And I mean, Lerato was quite interested in seeing. Lerato has just signed up into the Wedding Business Launchpad, and one of the questions she's also said that's so me, and it wasn't Lerato I was mentioning. She doesn't ever remember paying herself because Lerato is also looking. I think you guys will, you know, in the student group, you'll be able to bond together quite a lot. I think. Because Lerato's sense of style, she's just been through the boot camp. She's also looking at that, you know, high end African touch weddings, you know, and it's culturally there's a lot of commonality between your business and in terms of pricing and how people negotiate, it's completely different. In
Yeah.
terms of, like you say, you've got to actually say, because you know people aren't used to working with a wedding planner or a stylist even. They don't even understand that this is a real job.
Yeah. people
um,
people here, like in the events industry in Uganda, people really don't know so much about wedding planners.
yes,
They prefer doing the planning themselves and then they hire a stylist.
yeah,
Though there are those that hire stylists, I mean hire planners. Someone could come to you and like need you to do everything, but those are very few.
yeah,
That's why you see I concentrated so much on styling than planning.
yes.
Yeah. They prefer doing things by themselves.
Yeah, yeah, and also, you know, and in Africa, I think what is important to remember that you know your guest numbers in this kind of events is not static necessarily. You know,
Yeah.
you all of a sudden you could have you know 20 more people arrive
Yeah.
easily.
You could plan for 200 and then you get 250.
Yeah, I don't want to be a caterer.
No, they know, like they know such scenarios happen, so they are always ready. So like
Yes,
if they are cooking for 200 people in their quotation, if
yes,
you have a guest list of 200 people, they'll charge for 250
yes,
just in case.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, from a couple's perspective as well, it makes it a little bit different. And I think, Lerato, you'll also agree with me, you know, from what you've seen in, you know, in traditional African weddings, the, the price, you know, it is become expensive, but you've got to take it, you've got to take that into account and you've got to plan for it. But it
Yeah.
also shifts the goal a little bit more in terms of, you know, your margins and the pricing of your services becomes a lot more tricky. How did you know? I think you spent quite a lot of time in learning how to price your services. You had quite. I remember that module. You had
Yeah.
quite a few.
It was really hard. Like, that was one of the fears I had in starting because I didn't know how to price.
Mm,
Like, I didn't know, like, I had no idea how I could price anything. But when I did the pricing module, I got to know, like, though our pricing is a little different from the Western world pricing. So what I did after doing the pricing module, I went to the different vendors that I wanted to work with, got their prices, and I was able to set my own pricing strategy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, you've kind of got to do that, and what I found also is that a lot of new vendors pop up. It could be somebody. There's if depending on your look, there's somebody that's just on the street, making interesting carvings that could be into a nice new napkin holder that you
Yeah.
might have to buy. So it's a little bit more of a challenge doing these kind of weddings, in this kind of environment. But it's amazing. I mean, that's what makes business fun. That's what makes you shine creatively.
Yeah. True.
And it's a thrill. It's really is a thrill. It's vibrant. You're an absolute powerhouse of a lady. So with obviously a lot of creativity at your disposal. And I just think that some of the images that you put out are absolutely fantastic. You've really taken this beautiful fabric and put on like reed placemats onto it, as a charger plates, which is again unusual, but ties in that whole African feel. But at the same time, it elevates the whole look, and the florals are understated. And did I see that you bake cakes as well at some point?
Yes, I do. Like my goal is to like be a one-stop center for a for a bride. Like if you
Yeah.
come, I can do for you cards. I can plan for you your wedding, I can style, and I can as well bake for you. And
Yes.
in most cases, brides do not want to move, like to go to different vendors. So if they are getting everything from one place,
Yes.
it's actually better. That's why you see from printing, like from graphics design, I wanted to expand like the graphics design field, more especially the wedding cards field. Because people would come, they want cards, and they're asking, do you know anyone who can style my wedding? So now I get the clients from there, from right there. If I do for you cards, I can style for you your wedding, and I can as well bake for you cake.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's incredible. You are such a power woman. And how's your relationship been with the other vendors? I mean, people have seen now your work and they've seen the way you work. How did you go about, with the vendors? Have you gotten many referrals from that?
Not so much, because like most vendors already have like people they are working with. So being that I'm still new,
Yeah.
they're a bit scared that maybe I would disappoint them. But I'm sure with time, as they get to see my work, I
Yes.
would get referrals. I've got a referral from um, where I buy flowers. One of the florists, because like he looked at the flowers and I make, and he was like, your work is really beautiful.
It
So
is.
far I've got one, but I'm not worried. I know I believe in my work, I trust in my work, and I know I will they'll gain trust in me with time.
Yes. And you've done, I mean, you Johnny just launched your business. I mean, in January, was it January, December, like this? And then COVID. So you've literally, you've had maybe 3 months of operating.
Yeah, but I used to do events even before, like before I launched, before
Yes.
I registered my business.
Yeah.
Uh, I remember one time, like my cousin was stuck. Every by that she was going to do her traditional marriage, and like at that time it was towards December. That is a peak season in this side. Like it's like every stylist is booked, every person is working on an event. So she actually failed to get someone to help her style her event, and she trusted me with her events, and I really pulled it off. I was
Oh,
so grateful. And I think by then I was I had not yet even joined the academy, and I think that's why I got the passion. I was like, if I could do this, then I think I can pursue this professionally.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I mean, you know, there, you know, you've got to believe in yourself. You've got to take that risk, and you know, you need to invest in your business. You know,
Yeah.
training is an investment. It's not, you know, you're not just doing this. One thing I'd like to say is that, you know, I mean, Sarah, you being so busy yourself, you still took the time to, even if, you know, you're not even through all of the course yet, and there's so much information, like, you know. But you know, you've launched, and you know, even during this time, and you know, you've remained busy, you've been looking at other avenues, you've been working on your business, you've got plans and goals. But you know, just you've also engaged with a lot of people in the Facebook group. And I think that's key, you know. How would you say? I mean, who's your bestie?
Well, I think joining the academies was a blessing to me because like I got this group of people who are really very supportive, people who are willing to share information, which is different from the people in my country. Like um, most people are not willing to share information, even when you're willing to pay for it.
Yes.
So the academy community, the wedding academy community is really a beautiful community. Yeah, I know we come from different societies, but I learn a lot every day. I cannot miss a day without checking through the page because you'll get someone talking about styled shoots, someone talking about flower arrangements. Like you get this much advice, this much information from there, which is so priceless. So I really like being a part of the wedding academy community, and I would, though I was scared in the beginning, it paid off
Yeah, yeah. You
and
just
it's
gotta
still paying.
go. Sarah, we can go on and on and on for ages, and I've absolutely, you know, I'm seeing that we're almost 40 minutes live here. You know, thank you for, you know, there've been constant people watching, and thank you for, you know, taking the time out from your busy day to spend the time with us. Can I refer people to, you are part of the group. You know, if anybody has some direct questions, could they PM you in the bootcamp group?
Sure,
Yeah, if you have
sure.
time.
I'm not. Yeah, I'll have the time. I'm not yet done with the course. Like I'm not yet certified yet, but like I've done most of the course units.
Yes.
I'm just left with a few, and then the project. Then I'll get certified. So certified. So I could be of help to
Uh,
someone who needs the help.
yeah, just, you know, honest questions. Um, oh, wait, somebody here is a Facebook user. True, well said. I'm from Nigeria. Yes, hello, Africa. This is the same. You know, people don't share information. I think that's what you're saying. If you Facebook user, we don't have, you know, you haven't given StreamYard permission, but if you type in your name, we can see your name, who it is, you know, who it is us saying that is so true. I'm just going to take it off. But you know, I think, you know, there's different challenges, and you know, but that's the beauty of this community. You will never kick you off the Facebook group. The more you participate, the better value you get. And just that, you know, if you're thinking about, you know, as you know, in Africa we've got a lot of networking events, like in Dubai as well. You know, you go to all these networking events, you pay for association fees, and you know, it's something that, it's an investment in your business in order to meet people, and to oh, beloved fair Ify, thanks ladies, thank you for sharing, thank you for joining us, lady. But you know, we pay these fees, and I think, you know, just if you, yes, it is an investment, and it is tough at the moment. You know, people come from different circumstances. You know, it is tough financially, but it is an investment, and that investment, you know, you're still part of the Facebook group even after your payment plan has been finished. And
Yeah.
you know, it's been a short time, you know, for how can I say, not suffering. Oh, Elisa Wenzang is asking, how long has Sarah been on the course? Sarah, you started in August, right?
Yeah, I think 1 year now. I'm now 1 year in the course.
Yes. Yeah, 1 year, and you can go as fast or as slow as you want. Oh, Facebook, I don't know why your name is not showing. Just type in your name in the comments, and then we can see who you are. That might be the way to go. But yeah, it's kind of it's almost, what I was trying to say is that the community on Facebook, people continue to share all the time, and even if you have graduated, you can
Yeah.
still engage. Even if you finish your certification project, it's not something that we kick you off, because you didn't, like some associations, networking groups like BNI. There's a lot of, I see a lot of like Dubai-based wedding planners using Business Network International as a networking platform to get leads in. You can get leads in and referrals in through something like that, but you don't get the knowledge necessarily
Yeah.
with some, networking groups. So, from a uniquely kind of African perspective, or people that don't, they don't share information as much, in like culturally, we just don't do that when it comes to business. There's,
Yeah.
you know,
It's a problem that you have.
yeah, yeah, and it is unique. It is unique in how we operate. Anyway, so
Yeah.
Sarah, you're part of the bootcamp group. I'm going to leave your name in the comments. I mean, your link to your business. Oh yes, Sylvia. Oh, Lerato. Sylvia Adel says yes. Lerato she says yes. Me too. She also forgets to. You also forget to pay yourself, Sylvia. Big problem. But again, it's just because operating in Africa, in the Middle East, in India, we need to pay a little bit more attention and be more a little bit creative in terms of our pricing. Sometimes set packages don't really work.
Hmm.
So we have to be a little bit more creative and a little bit more flexible. Like you say, somebody will come to you and say, I have $1,500. What can you do? You can't tell
Yeah.
them no. I'll do 10.
You won't tell them no. You'll have to work with their budget.
Yeah, and that's very different. So it's a tailor-made proposal every time, and like you say, you've got to, some of the unique challenges that I see from people in the Middle East, speaking to different planners, is that you've got to be very also clear on who your ideal client is, and very clear with what your aesthetic is in your business, and
Yeah.
who that you've got to be very led by that, because otherwise you'll be spending, every Tom, Dick, and Harry will be phoning you all the time, like you say, these jokers. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of them. There are a lot of them.
Yeah. And I had one lady, one of our past students, she's a graduate, she graduated 2 years ago, and her work was fantastic. Beautiful floral, like something out of this world. What a talented woman. And she said, I was surprised. I met her at one of the wedding fairs, and it was very, it wasn't quite her target audience. The quality, it just wasn't the right place. And she said, oh my God, I'm spending so much time making proposals. I said, look at your communication and where your fish where the fish are, right? Oh yes, Ari, thank you so much. Yes, it's a pleasure. And thank you, Sarah. I mean, honestly, guys, she is a absolute rock star. And we try to, I mean, I know that the African community, this is why I asked Sarah to be here in the afternoon. It's a little bit unique the way we work, and we try to understand that and make sure that everybody's catered to. So yes. Anyway, it's 48 minutes. Oh, there's another one, Sylvia. She's saying thank you. This group is a big blessing. And yeah, Sylvia, you can network with Sylvia, Mose, Ari, Eleza, Lerato. If you join up as a student with us, you'll be part of the community that Sarah is with as well. So, that is, speak to me, set up a time with me. Let's discuss, move you forward. Even if it's not the Launchpad course, we do have other courses that are a little bit smaller. I can work out a tailor-made plan, whether we start you off on the certificate in business and marketing, because it is an investment. It is in US dollars. It is a little bit, challenging. If we're not earning dollars, especially in South Africa, it's quite, the Rand dollar exchange is a bit crazy at the moment. But speak to me, we're here to support one another. And I just love the fact that they're more African, wedding planners from Africa taking our courses, because it's also, you guys recognize one another, and I see the chat in the group. Sarah, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to leave a link to the group, your Facebook page, on the group as well. And then if you could just pop in the comments below if they want to reach out to you, honestly, thank you for that offer. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. I'm so glad.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Thank you, my dear. You have a good day. And when is your baby due again? Your new baby?
November.
Yay! The baby shower better be African and amazing.
I'm waiting for it.
So exciting. So exciting. Okay, my dear. Thank you so much. I'm going to end this now and we'll catch up with you soon. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.